The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene live in the Wicked Weed studio. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. 30 Days of Draftmas rolls on. Today we're going to get into the riskiest fantasy football picks of the preseason here. But first, we got breaking news. Tim Tebow has been released by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Bye, Tim. Farewell, ye gentle prince.
Tebow has been...
Twice.
Sorry.
Got 2 times.
Sorry. The window was still up.
Muting it once was not good enough. I'm so happy that we don't have to talk about Tim Tebow anymore.
You're wrong about that. We will have to talk about Tim Tebow again when he gets signed by the New York Jets.
Not going to happen. We already did that once. That's kind of like remarrying your ex-wife. We already did that.
Right.
That didn't work first time. Why the hell would it work second time?
I mean, it was one of the greatest recaps of Tim Tebow's preseason debut with the Jacksonville Jaguars was, hey, look at that. Tim Tebow blocks like a former quarterback turned baseball player turned tight end. Who's shocked? We tried to tell you. And this is actually the smartest thing Urban Meyer has done since he's taken over the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Who would have thought that it would be a stupid idea to bring in a quarterback from your fucking college team that has a cult following to play tight end? Who could possibly have seen that being really stupid? Mm-hmm. This guy.
Yeah, Tim Tebow never should have tried to come back and play tight end. He wasn't a good quarterback to begin with.
Hey, maybe he'll get.
And he wasn't a good
hockey
baseball
now.
player, honestly.
Maybe he'll play hockey now, or water polo,
Right.
or who gives a shit? Maybe he'll just run the Tim Tebow Foundation.
In the comments, Alex Sanders said he should have went to baseball. You can't say he didn't do well.
He hit like
Really?
a $189.
Really?
He hit a couple real far.
Let's see here.
Michael Whiteside, Tim Tebow blocks like an exiled girlfriend who still loves you. That's +3.
Would you like to take a guess at what the highest batting percentage or batting average he had in the minor leagues was? Just take a guess, Jeremy.
217.
You're not far off. It's 273. That was his best season in 2018.
And that was playing in beer league softball.
He was playing for Binghamton. The Binghamton Mets in the Eastern League. That's AA ball.
Well, at least now we don't have to hear will Tim Tebow make the Jacksonville Jaguars? No. He didn't make it through the first set of cuts.
And then he went to AAA and hit 163. And then went, yeah, maybe baseball's not for me. Maybe I should be a tight end in the NFL.
But what will Urban Meyer do now that he doesn't have the winner, Tim Tebow?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree, Patrick Holt. 273 is a decent average.
If
for
you're in the
majors,
it's not that great when you're in high A ball, where first-round picks go and hit 450.
2 for Patrick Holt. He said that's higher than my average picking up sad women at the bar at last call.
I'm going to double your 2 and go +4, Patrick Holt.
+4 for Patrick Holt. Yeah, I mean, he's a great, God-fearing man. I respect him completely as a human being. As a football player and as a baseball player, though, he was not good at his job. His best job is where he's going to end up, and that's calling college football. He's a great college football analyst. I try to get past my hatred every time I see him on the television, and I do.
I don't hate the guy. I'm just really tired of talking about him. There is no doubt he has gotten more airtime than any half-ass football player in the history of the sport, and it's not even close.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, maybe.
Oh, good God. Tim Tebow's gotten more airtime the last 3 days than Clyde Edwards-Helaire's gotten in his life.
So Urban Meyer making the good decision. They have cut Tim Tebow from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank God we no longer have to deal with that in the run-up
You go
to
gently
the
into that
season.
soft night. I do declare Tim Tebow is no longer in the NFL.
Onward, Christian soldier. On to the next thing.
Let's talk about shit that matters.
Okay, what's that?
We're doing fantasy leagues for charity, and I'm super excited.
Yes. Yeah, the competition for a cause is getting off the ground. We had the phone call yesterday afternoon after the program with Eblen Charities. They are going to be our charity for the best ball charity leagues that we have that we are setting up here. We've got $20 leagues, $50 leagues, and $100 leagues. Everybody will be invited in that. We're going to have a portal on the sportsocracy.com website so you can go in and you can do all of the things, make your registrations, get your donations in, because that's exactly what this is. I mean, we're going to pay for some of the overhead of getting rings for the winners of the big leagues and things like that.
And there will be prizes for all leagues.
Wicked Weed, Ingles, we got Ingles on board to give some prizes as well to the league winners. And we are going to donate the vast majority of all of your entry fees to the St. Nicholas Project with Eblen Charities. They collect money every year and set up a toy store down at the Westgate Mall so that parents who can't afford to give their kids a good Christmas, they can go and they can do their shopping there. They can get a voucher for free toys for the kids for Christmas. We've been, me being attached to iHeartMedia Asheville, we have been a supporter of the Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project for many, many years. We do our annual toy drive for them every year in concert with Ingles, so it only made sense that we bring all of this under the blanket of the competition for a cause fantasy football leagues. So.
I'm very excited about this. We're working on a deal that the winners of the big leagues will be able to get custom helmets from their favorite team. Mm-hmm. The mid-tier will get custom signed jerseys from their favorite team. And then there will be grab bags and fun things for the winners from Wicked Weed. You'll get some sweet merch. You'll get some of our merch, which we are working on. I know. I have been horribly distracted for the last few, weeks now.
Right.
Months. Hell, let's go months. And you will see why very, very soon.
That's right. So just mark your... mark that on your to-do list, and we will get all the appropriate links and such out to you so you can get registered and have a lot of fun throughout the season with us, and also, help the needy families in our area give their kids a good Christmas. I have always said every kid deserves to have a present at Christmas, and the fact that we can help out in that cause just warms my heart.
Yeah, I mean, I've said on the show before, I'm a slut for charity, and that's a thing. Stephen Tao asked about hats. I actually have information on that. Give me 24 hours. I went down some rabbit holes. They look exactly the same as they used to. They just have a different logo on the side.
Yeah.
Found somebody
Just
that actually wants to do their damn job.
Excellent.
I still haven't blasted who that was. I'll get drunk on one of our late night lives.
I'm sure you
just
will.
Go hammer time.
It's been 100% fuckery since the orders went in.
Oh, so. You have no idea. You have no idea. And I'm not one of those that likes to hide when people do things like that.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We will also be hooking up with our good friend to get shirts made out for everybody participating in the leagues as well. So yes, shirts will be coming as well as prizes for the winners and all of that. So look forward to the links. We'll be blasting them out. We'll have a commercial running on ESPN Asheville, touting this out to everybody because we want as many people involved as this in this as possible.
We would love to give a very large check to Eblen at the end of this.
Yes, which I think will only be fitting for us to do the presentation of that at the Ingles Magical Christmas Toy Drive, benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project that comes up in November. So we will stage something there, and for some reason I still feel like Jeremy's going to try to squeeze me into a Santa Claus suit, which I
wasn't gonna.
You said that about 800 times last year. We need to do an event, and you need to get in a costume. I know a guy's got a costume, so If I don't get in the suit, we will have Santa Claus there at the check presentation. How about that?
All the way in.
Okay. All right, let's get into the riskiest fantasy football plays of 2021. This actually came up over the weekend because Jeremy did a draft for a very expensive fantasy football league where his team looks like the biggest no risk it, no biscuit gamble I have ever seen. There are only 2 guys on the entire team that you look at and go, yeah, that was a solid pick. The rest of it, it's got to go completely perfectly.
And say I disagree with you.
No.
All right, so let me give you the setup of this league, and I don't think he takes what I'm getting ready to say enough to heart. First of all, I am the reigning, defending champion of this league. Second of all, it's half point per carry. So, yes, it's super flex. Mm-hmm. Yes, you want to start 2 quarterbacks. But do you, though? Because there's some merit. What?
I was just laughing. Plus whatever for armchair commentary. I'll let you do the scoring on this one. Tank says, charity warms my heart. Me, are you sure that's not your diabetes?
Oh, that's +3. That's easily +3.
All right, so you got super flex, half point per carry. What else? What else makes this team fit for you?
So it's 16 man rosters. Okay. It's a 14 team league.
14 team league.
There are a shitload of people in this league.
Smart people.
Yeah, there's not many dum-dums. Although somebody did take Cam Akers in the beginning of the 3rd round. So there was that.
It wasn't me. I'm not in this league.
Got confused, thought they were taking Daryl Henderson, in spite of the fact there's a big ass red cross beside Cam Akers' name. But and no judgment.
Uh-huh. It's very
so okay.
It's out there.
It's out there. Quarterback might serve to be a problem, or it might not.
I don't think you're going to run into a great big problem. Here's the thing. All of the guys that you took who have this, massive upside are guys that I like.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin Fields, I think he's going to have a great season. I've already said yesterday I would put money on him being a rookie of the year this year.
Yes.
Nick Chubb, obviously that's a steady. Stephon Diggs. But then after that, I mean, you got Joe Mixon.
Who I love.
I am scared to death.
Half point per carry. I'm going to say that no less than 3 times in this segment.
Okay. And that's fine.
Because name me another running back on that.
He has to be ambulatory for him to get the carries.
Okay, you're going to have to use a word that's actually a word because I don't know what the hell that means.
He has to be available. Your best ability is your availability, and Joe Mixon, there is a chance behind that offensive line, he could break again. I am very concerned about Joe Mixon to the point where, I don't normally put a whole lot of stock into it, but I like it when it proves my narrative. You go to the sports injury predictor. It's like an 88% chance that Joe Mixon's going to miss time for injury at some point this season.
Do you know how many games, if you take away last year, do you know how many games Joe Mixon's missed in his career?
Yes, it's only like 4.
It's 4.
Yes, I understand.
It's 4.
But again, he's a guy that's always on the injury report. He's always questionable.
Well, here's the thing. Before last year where he got hurt, 2 1,100-yard years in a row, 237 carries, 278 carries. I'm fine with that as my second running back.
Okay. Elijah Moore, your little boyfriend, you took him in the 4th round.
And all he has to do is hold the spot until Michael Thomas is ready to come back. That's it.
When did you take him? I said the 4th round just to be hyperbolic, but when did you take Elijah Moore?
I think I took him in the 8th round.
8th round?
Of a 14-team draft.
That seems about right.
Yeah.
Then you got Adam Troutman as your starting tight end.
Doubled up with Jameis Winston. Mm-hmm. I'm full. I'm all gas, no brake on New Orleans.
Yep.
Because they're gonna suck.
And they're gonna have to throw.
And they're gonna be behind. And I'm using the old DFS strategy of pairing your quarterback with one of your weapons.
Mm-hmm. Jameis Winston, obviously, we don't know that he's going to be the quarterback. We believe he will be the quarterback in New Orleans.
I'm very sure he's going to be the quarterback in New Orleans.
James Robinson, who has Travis Etienne breathing down his neck. as some would have you believe. I still think he's going to be the guy to get the most tote there, but it has to go perfectly.
James Robinson is the number 1 running back of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Jonathan Welch said this is a wet deuce of a team. I'll bet you I finished in the top 4. This is the 4th year I've been in this league. I've never finished worse than 4th.
Right. Mike Davis, who filled in well last year for Christian McCaffrey in Carolina. It'll be his first time being the actual number 1.
He's the only running back they have.
I get it. How much are they going to focus on the running game is the question.
Just remember, Arthur Smith is the head coach. No running back in the NFL got more of a workload than Derrick Henry.
Yep.
You're telling me he's just going to throw that out the window and let Matt Ryan throw 60 times a game? Mm-hmm. Bullshit.
Zach Moss for the Buffalo Bills.
He's between the tackles running back for the Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. And I think he's the better of the 2.
Right. Devin Singletary is still in town, but he seems to be falling by the wayside as everybody is focusing on Zach Moss. It's his time to take over this team.
Armchair commentary +2. James Robinson had 240 carries last year in 14 games.
Yep.
By the way, I got James Robinson in the 7th round.
Mm-hmm.
I was just sitting there with my fingers crossed going, please come back to me, please come back to me, please come back to me.
I love it when a plan works out. Jimmy Garoppolo,
I had to have somebody that I know is going to start. Just in case to start the year, I'm no Fields, no Jameis Winston.
But even that has its peril, as you don't know what's going to happen with Trey Lance in the next couple of weeks.
I know he's not going to start a game for San Francisco anytime soon.
Okay. You feel confident in that?
Oh,
because I feel like we've had the discussion the other way around, where I was more convinced that Jimmy was going to be the guy. And
yep, and then I saw him play and went, you are light years away from playing in this league. For a team that thinks they're competitive, it'd be one thing if San Francisco was hot zebra come.
Oh, yeah.
They're not. Yeah. They're very, very good.
By the way, since you said that, I just want to take an aside here. What the fuck is this that the Golden State Warriors fans are now calling Jonathan Kuminga the cum bucket?
Yeah, that's I've seen that.
Man, why are you going to do my guy dirty like that? That's wrong. Anyhow, back to the team.
By the way, you were talking about Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
Where do you think he ranked among quarterbacks in fantasy football in 2019?
Jimmy Garoppolo? Mm-hmm. 10?
14.
Okay.
In a 2-quarterback league, 14 teams deep, and I got Jimmy Garoppolo in a double-digit rank.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. There is some risk. I'm not saying he's one of the riskiest guys.
Give me the percentage chance that neither Justin Fields nor Jameis Winston are starting for their teams in Week 7. Because that's the earliest, short of injury, which you can't forecast injury. 3% chance that one of the 2 of them is not starting?
Yeah.
Cool, because I only need one of them.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand it's super flex. I also need you to understand that when I took Stephon Diggs in the 4th round, there had already been 17 quarterbacks come off the board.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence had already come off the board ahead of Stephon Diggs.
I agree with Rob Johnson in the comments. He said this isn't a bad team. I never said it was a bad team. I'm just saying this is a team that's got a lot of risk on it.
Mm-hmm. It does.
This is a team that actually this looks like a team that I would draft. And maybe that's why I'm taken aback by it going, wait a minute, Jeremy. Oh, wait.
Oh, I'm going to be really honest with you. The way the scoring system's done, it is PPR, but receivers are borderline irrelevant. I didn't really want to take Stephon Diggs in the 4th round, but running back, literally there had been, as of the end of the 3rd round, there had been 3 tight ends taken, 1 wide receiver, I want to say 15 running backs and like 17 quarterbacks. Yeah. There had been 1 wide receiver taken, and I picked 6th.
Right.
So, and let's see, 6th, which means I picked 10th on the comeback where I took Diggs. Mm-hmm. I had to. I didn't have a choice. I took him at like 50. I had no choice.
Mm-hmm. Michael Thomas is also on this team. I don't think we mentioned him yet.
I took him really late.
Which this is a Yahoo league. And I think I said it on this show, and if I haven't, I need to say it. If you're in a Yahoo league, look out for Michael Thomas, because they have lowered his name in the list. Many people will forget he's even there. He's like at 120, 130 something because of I guess just because he's going to be out
I took him
for an indefinite portion of the first part of the year.
And what if he's not? What if he misses 2 weeks?
Uh-huh.
I got him at 110.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's what I want you to wrap your brain around. Let's say Michael Thomas doesn't miss more than a week or two. And I have Thomas and Stephon Diggs as my 1 and 2 wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Mixon and Chubb as my 1 and 2 running back.
Mm-hmm.
Robinson, Moss, and Mike Davis as the sprinkle them in, play the matchups. Yeah, I'm in pretty good damn shape.
Wow, winning.
Yep.
Jason Trump +2. He said this is a Ricky Bobby thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it ain't first, it's last. 100%. I agree with you. And here's the thing. I won it last year. So maybe I played with a little bit of house money and didn't play safe.
Right.
Because guess what? I didn't play safe last year. I won it, and the 2 quarterbacks I drafted were Carson Wentz and Lamar Jackson. I did have Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And I had to take him stupidly early. My running backs were dog shit the vast majority of the year. And then I got lucky that I fell into Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. That's how I won that league last year.
And then you look at the bench of this team. Russell Gage.
Dart throw.
He's got a lot of upside. Atlanta needs to throw the ball. They're going to be behind a lot. I understand it. He had a pretty decent year last year. A.J. Greene. We don't expect him to be the 1,000-yard receiver anymore. But even if he's 75% of what he used to be, that's 700-yard, 6 touchdowns. It's a hell of a production that you're going to get out of who ends up being your wide receiver 5. Mm-hmm. Austin Hooper at tight end, Salvon Ahmed at running back from Miami. Both of those guys have the potential.
Ahmed,
they're on teams.
Almost invariably, Salvon Ahmed's not going to make this team. Because I'm going to have to cut somebody. I put
For a
Michael
kicker or
Thomas on
defense.
our, so that'll get me a kicker or a defense. This is one of those teams I'll bet you $1 to a donut I'm not going to play a kicker for the first probably month.
Yeah.
Unless somebody else gets hurt. Somebody else gets hurt, then I might. Mm-hmm. I love that strategy.
Salvon Ahmed obviously is your transition piece.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, if something came out that he's the starter in Miami, which it won't, then maybe he sticks around. Alexander asked me if I had my roster from last year. Let me look, because I do. I know I do. It's just a question of where. Mm-hmm.
High-risk fantasy plays, though.
I had 5 guys on this team on my team last year, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mike Davis. I remember I rode him like a fucking show pony. I had Damian Harris, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. Wide receiver, the best receiver I had on my team last year, I think, was Devontae Parker. I go into that draft like, I don't give a fuck who my receivers are. I don't care.
You're just going after running backs in the half point per carry.
Stephen Tao asked if I took Jalen Hurts. No, I picked him up. He was when he replaced Carson Wentz, somehow I had 6th waiver priority and still got Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
In a 2-quarterback league. I almost didn't even do it because I was like, there's no shot that I'm going to wind up with him. But I did.
Hey,
And it worked.
It never hurts to ask the question. It never hurts to put in that waiver claim, because you never know when everybody else on your team or in your league is going to be sleeping.
Oh, 100%.
Always take advantage. Always
100%.
take advantage. All right, so your team, I think, is very, very high risk, but it's very high reward. If you hit on all of those things, and your team's not built in a way that it needs all of that to happen.
No.
You don't have to have every one of those guys, but you do need at least 5 of them. you do need at least 5 of those
I need Justin
to go your
Fields
way.
to start week 1. I need the running backs to stay healthy-ish. Because I have 5.
Yeah.
And I need Stephon Diggs to be vaguely what he was last year. He doesn't have to be wide receiver 1. He just needs to be wide receiver top 5.
Right.
And I'll be fine.
Okay.
Adam Troutman's top 10 tight end to me. And I've got him stacked with Jameis Winston, which makes me really happy.
All right, let's go position by position. Talk riskiest plays for fantasy football in 2021. At the quarterback position, who's your riskiest play?
Oddly enough, a guy we just talked about, Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts is a guy that's going where Deshaun Watson would go if we knew he was going to play. Mm-hmm. And I can't promise you that Jalen Hurts plays all 17 games. I see a path that Jalen Hurts gets benched before this year's over because they just look at it and go, we're better than this.
But for what?
Joe Flacco.
No.
I'm telling you.
He will be that bad.
I'm telling you.
I don't know that I can see a world where Jalen Hurts is going to be that bad. I mean, unless he averages 3 turnovers a game.
He doesn't have to be that bad. He can be very, very bad.
But you don't have a team around him, I don't feel like, that will be expected to be great.
Here's where that could go. Let's say the defense is better than we think it is.
Okay.
New defensive leadership, no more Jim Schwartz. Let's say they're better than we think they are. Mm-hmm. And they're hanging in games, and Jalen Hurts keeps losing games. Late, he has the ball. He can't move. He gets in the 2-minute drill, and every team in the NFL just goes, cool, we're going to drop 8. Mm-hmm. Because we know you can't throw a guy open, and we know that. I could see a path. I mean, there's too much hype on Joe Flacco out of Philadelphia right now of how good he's looked, how much he likes his offense, blah, 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 blah. Do I agree with it? No, because he played for my Jets last year, and I can tell you he was a fucking disaster. But if Philadelphia looks at this team and goes, you know what, we're better than people think we are, and we've lost three close games through 6 weeks, yeah, I could see a path where they tap on Jalen Hurts.
Can Jalen Hurts, does he have the ability to break into that group of 3,000-yard passing, 1,000-yard rushers like Lamar and Kyler have been?
I'm going to say no. I don't think 1,000-yard rusher, sure. I don't think he could throw for 3,000 yards if you gave him 20 games. I really don't. He's just not a good thrower of the football.
Right. Might have been able to do it at the college level, but not so much in the NFL.
Well, I mean, you just look at last year. He played 4 games. He averaged about 250 yards a game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, if you play that out.
17 games.
Sure. I mean, I'm just looking through his game logs in terms of passing. He had 2 300-yard games. One was against Dallas, and one was against Arizona. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it was a lot of 17, a 35, a 12, 7, a 20. Good God, he sucks. I mean, I just need you to understand, in the 2 300-yard games, he was a 54% completion guy. I hammer guys that are at 64. He's 10% lower than that. Mm-hmm. And people are taking him. I mean, hell, I've seen Jalen Hurts go in the 6th round.
Oh God!
I understand that he's a good runner. I get that. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's a good enough runner to mitigate how bad of a passer he is.
His current ADP is in the middle of the 9th round, and you can see him go a little bit higher in some spots. But I mean, he's going ahead of Brandon Cooks. Like, I'd much rather have the shot. If I'm taking a flyer, take a shot on Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, but you kind of got to go with the same position.
Okay.
See, for me, I'm looking at Jalen Hurts going, I would rather have Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have Matt Ryan. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have Kirk Cousins. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have Deshaun Watson. I'd rather have Justin Fields. And to me, it's not close on any of them. I could make an argument I'd rather have Ben Roethlisberger. Mm-hmm. I don't really agree with that, but I could make the argument.
I think Justin Fields is the value to have.
I agree.
I mean, in the 12th round, you're getting Justin Fields, and I feel like he can be a 17-game starter. Year 1.
Alex Sanders said he's going to play devil's advocate. Who was he throwing to? I don't disagree with you. I don't in any way disagree with you. Mm-hmm. There's only one slight problem with that narrative. Give me a second. I'll tell it to you.
Okay. I mean, last year he had Travis Fulgham and...
Yeah, last year Carson Wentz was dog shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Completion percentage from week 2 on. 60, 62, 64, 57, and then you slide into he was getting hit 1 billion times a game. Mm-hmm. But he was still over 60 pretty consistently. The only times he wasn't were against the Giants, who just beat his brains out. and he kept turning the ball over. Mm-hmm. In the beginning of the year, Carson Wentz was a 61-ish level completion percentage guy. Jalen Hurts was 53 and played 3 of the easiest defenses that they played. Mm-hmm. When he played a legitimate defense, it was 30. They played the Washington football team. He was 7 of 20. Played the Green Bay Packers. He was 5 of 12. He's not good.
Right.
He's not an accurate quarterback. He doesn't throw the ball well.
Right.
And talking about receivers, I'm going to be really honest with you. I like Jalen Reagor better than some people do. You still have 2, one good tight end, one I don't know what the hell he is anymore. You still got Miles Sanders. It's not like this team's completely bereft of talent, which is what I feel like people make it out to be, and it's not.
Well, the offensive line they were decimated with injuries again last year. I don't know that you can expect that to get a whole lot better. I mean, all of those guys are just getting older, which obviously makes you more brittle, makes you more prone to further injury. So the offensive line isn't good to begin with. But yeah, with Devontae Smith now in town, although we've already seen him get a little banged up, but that was Jalen Hurts' fault, my opinion. So I think he is no doubt a huge risk, but the ceiling is very high on what he can give you on the ground, what he can give you, through the air with, we'll say, improved weapons. I have questions a lot about the Philadelphia Eagles, and a lot of it has to go back to Jalen Hurts because I just don't know what he can be this year. My number one high-risk quarterback this year is Joe Burrow. I feel like
I don't disagree with that.
I feel like it's super boom or just busty bust. Because last year he wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. He wasn't like the greatest thing you had ever seen take the football field. And then he gets hurt, and now all of the reports about him being iffy, and that just can't happen. You can't be undecided as a quarterback in the NFL and be successful and make it. He's got incredible weapons.
You want to play a fun game with Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
In terms of points per game last year, name me a comp.
A comp to Joe Burrow in points per game last year. I'll say
he's directly between 2 quarterbacks we've talked about a lot on this show.
Matt Ryan.
You're too high.
Too high? I keep wanting to say Ryan Tannehill, but that's not true. Ryan Tannehill's way up there. He's way up.
Ryan Tannehill's 5 points per game better than
I still have it stuck in my head that he's very mediocre. Ooh, Derek Carr.
Derek Carr's 2 spots behind him. Carson Wentz and Cam Newton. That's the guys on both sides of Joe Burrow. And you're taking him in the 7th round.
Yep.
Stop that.
He's got to be able to step up into the pocket. He's got to be able to stare down his target and be able to throw it accurately. And I just don't see it. Obviously, staring down your target is not a great idea, but you get what I'm saying.
Joe Burrow's going as the 13th quarterback.
Does he have it in his head to be able to hang in the pocket and make the throws as he needs to? I don't know that he does. I love his weapons. I think T. Higgins is incredible. I love Tyler Boyd still. And Jamar Chase is going to sort out all of this. I chalk this up to a lot of, I haven't been playing competitive football for 2 years because I'd opted out for COVID last year. And now I've gone from, playing my junior year or my sophomore year in college to, holy shit, I'm in the NFL now. I think a lot of that has to do with the bumps that we've seen. And I'll go even, yes, your little boyfriend, Auden Tate.
I like Auden Tate.
All of the weapons are there. I think at his best this year, he could be Justin Herbert.
Burrow?
Yeah.
You're drunk.
Why?
God bless.
Why?
You had one of those cold beers out of the fridge, didn't you?
No.
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
Why?
Are you not? Are you talking about real life football or fantasy football?
I'm talking about fantasy football. He can be.
Do you realize how many points per game Justin Herbert outscored Joe Burrow by?
How many?
6 per game. Mm-hmm. There weren't that many quarterbacks in the league that scored more points per game than Justin Herbert. Mm-hmm. It was Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Marcus Mariota, and Dak Prescott. Mariota played 1 game.
Yeah.
So just take that for what it's worth.
And scored like 30 points or something.
27.
Yeah. No, I think at his best, Joe Burrow can be in the neighborhood of what Justin Herbert was last year. Their efficiency numbers are not off by all that much. And I think at his best, that's where he could be. The problem is, I think he's going to continue to run for his life. And I don't, at his high, he could be a top 10 quarterback. At his low, I mean, he can be where he was last year, scoring 12 points a game or whatever it was.
I'm not high on Burrow, mainly because of where he's going. I think he'll be a better real-life quarterback than he'll be fantasy quarterback. Mm-hmm. I will tell you a guy that was behind him last year in points per game, Matthew Stafford. That's another guy that I'm a little leery on. People just think Sean McVay runs this wide open, throw it 50 times a game offense.
He doesn't.
He doesn't. It's a fucking myth. And then they saw Cam Akers go down and they went, oh, now he's certainly going to throw it all the time. I have done a litany of drafts. I have yet to find a way to get Matthew Stafford. I haven't had him not one time.
Yeah.
Because he just falls in this. He's going Tannehill, Brady, Aaron Rodgers, then Matt Stafford.
I want all of that.
I would rather have all 3 of the guys I just said than Matt Stafford by a lot. I think Matt Stafford is very, very risky this year.
I love Matt, and I have him nowhere.
I mean, I think we have to say that the riskiest quarterback is Deshaun Watson.
Oh, well, there's no doubt
because he might
about
score
that. 0 points.
No points.
You put a lot of eggs into that basket, and if it doesn't come to fruition,
you know what's funny?
I'm questioning, is it going to kill you?
What's funny is that in drafts of leagues that I have doubloons in, I currently have 0 shares of Deshaun Watson.
Really?
People keep sniping him in front of me. It's not that I don't want to take him. The fucking draft I just showed you, he got sniped right in front of me by another Jets fan. That's jet on jet crime. That's bullshit. Also, the guy that I played in the finals last year, it was 2 Jets fans in the finals.
Right.
I just have to keep repeating that because I know a couple people from that league watch this show.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't ever seem to find myself drafting a quarterback when he comes around. Because he is going, I've seen him go as low as the 10th round. And I've usually got my quarterback by then. I have found myself not being able to resist the urge a lot in fantasy football drafts of getting down to the 7th round and some form of Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, I'm trying to think, Tom Brady. They're all still on the board in the 7th round. And I go, okay, well, now it's time. Now I feel like this has gone dumb.
Movie Andy is a new one to the comments. I've never seen that one before.
Movie Andy?
He's apparently very high on Jameis Winston. So am I. Not as high as you are, but I'm very high on Jameis Winston.
In the 4th round?
That's aggressive. That's an aggressive strategy.
I hope it was a 15-keeper league. And
we didn't ask about keepers.
Right. How many keepers were there in your league?
I'm drunk on Jameis Winston. If so long as he's quarterback of this team, I'm plastered on him.
Or is this one of those wacky Corey Short type leagues where your quarterbacks can score 200 points in a week?
Yeah, I'm in a league like that too.
That might, if this is just a regular scoring draft, you did it wrong with Jameis Winston in the 4th round.
Hey, I took Jameis Winston in the super flex, and I'm damn happy about it.
In the 4th round, though?
Okay. No, I took him. I don't remember where I took him. I waited.
It had to be like the 9th, 10th.
No, it wasn't that late.
No, really?
17 quarterbacks went before Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
That's the part of that's the part of this that I don't think you.
That makes it worse, Andy.
He might have meant 14th round.
Okay, let's hope. Let's hope he meant 14th round. Because in an 8-team league,
I do love that somebody shows up named Movie Andy and immediately people are just like, hey, by the way, the fat one with the beard, he hates movies. I don't hate movies, okay? I'm neurotic as hell, and once I start it, I have to finish it, which has led to me watching a lot of shitty movies, which is why I just don't start them. I'm sure I would love them. Like Scarface. I'm sure I'd love Scarface if I watched it. Or Field of Dreams or Bull Durham.
Yeah. Andy says he meant the 4th round. Okay, please explain. Because he eats W's.
That's +4 for Movie Andy. welcome to the fan leaderboard, Movie Andy. Somebody explain to him what that means.
Oh, we're keeping comment scores throughout the week. We keep a running tally, and then at the end of the week, whoever has the most points is going to get some form of a prize, whether it be show swag or Wicked Weed swag, or I don't know what it's going to be. But we just started it. Movie Andy, you are now on the board.
Adam Black said Jeremy also puts ketchup on steaks and ranch on wings.
Yes, he does.
+3 because you're right. You meant that as a dig, and I wear that as a badge of honor.
You shouldn't.
It's me and Pat Mahomes putting ketchup on our steaks.
Because you shouldn't.
And I put A1 in it and make my own little fancy sauce.
Fancy sauce. God, with the fancy sauce.
So good. Shit's so good.
Any other high risk?
Tonight, as a matter of fact. Big old ribeye.
Ooh.
Marinated that sumbitch before I left the house.
Nice. What do you marinate it in? Just
A1.
curious. Are you just marinated in A1?
Well, it's A1 and a slew of other spices and shit. But secret time, marinate your steaks in A1. Not a lot, just a little. You remember that thing I told you about marinating grilled chicken in mayonnaise? It's that good. Mm-hmm. Breaks down the meat, gives it that A1 steaky sauce flavor. Oh.
Balsamic vinegar, olive oil, and Montreal/Canadian steak seasoning. Marinate that shit for a few hours before you grill them. You're welcome.
Anthony Hurt, first of all, like an AA meeting, welcome. Tim Tebow did get cut.
Yes.
And we already poured one out for his dead career.
It was sacramental wine, so
we also have a call to his people to join us as the third on our ESPN show. Yeah. Maybe he likes Asheville. I know he's been here a few times.
Come on, there are a lot of souls to save in Asheville, Tim. You should come visit.
Oh.
What?
First of all, there's a lot of people saying salt, pepper, and garlic. That is the spices that went with the A1. Mm-hmm. I really like... Okay, let me explain the A1 trick. That's something I do when I don't have a lot of A1, because I like a lot of sauce. A lot. And I didn't have a lot of A1, and I didn't want to stop at the fucking grocery store. I had enough of a run-in stopping at Walmart, or dealing with Walmart. My lovely wife stopped at Walmart. Mm-hmm. I had to deal with the repercussions of them sending us plates that were $38. Disposable plates. There were 20 of them, and they were $38. I'm all for the environment. Fuck them trees at $38 for 20 fucking plates. You can go piss down a well. Movie Andy said, do I like crab legs? I like them. My wife loves them. And watching her eat them is the most erotic thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, by the way, I feel this is going down a Jameis Winston path, and just so you know, Movie Andy, he is a Florida State fan.
Die hard.
I am a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
Matter of fact, there's a Jameis Winston jersey right behind me. Hold on. I'll show it to you.
Our knowledge of Jameis
right
Winston.
there over that's my left shoulder.
Yeah.
Mirrors are a bitch. I love Jameis Winston.
Yes, our knowledge of Jameis Winston goes deep.
Oh, Kevin Vick. Can I go negative points on Kevin Vick?
Negative points for Adam Black, too. He said crab legs are overrated.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's where crab legs are overrated. Holy fuck, we're down a rabbit hole.
I don't care.
I don't either. I enjoy these a lot. Here's where crab legs are overrated. They take a lot of work to get to. Yes. Unless you're like my wife and can do it with a precision that is, she would dust you, bro.
You don't know.
I do know.
You don't know the skills.
Let me put it this way. The last time we were on the coast, a waitress at a seafood restaurant came over to us and said, that is the most unbelievably efficient crab leg breaking I've ever seen. She sat there and watched her do it for like 2 solid minutes. Mm-hmm. Never seen that before.
I get those as well. Just so you know.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, you know what?
I do. Hey, crab leg cracking
That's
contest.
Exactly what I was about to say.
Let's do it.
I have 2 co-hosts now.
Because here's the thing. Even if she is better than me, which I don't doubt, she may be better than me. I want to see her process compared to my process and see how I could improve.
Oh, Kelvin Joyner said crawfish are better. I can't stand crawfish. I tried to like it, but they taste so weird. Oysters all the way in. Mm-hmm. All the way in. Michael White said she watched her because she's hot. That's +3. That's 100%. That's +3. Yeah, she did watch her because she's hot, and it was fun to watch. And you know what? I don't blame her. I watched it too. Matter of fact, I videoed it. Soft-shelled crawfish? That's a fucking thing?
I've never had a soft-shelled crawfish. Now I'm interested.
Look, you got two dudes on this show that are fat as fuck, and so you throw a food thing out there, we're gonna need just a hint of an elaboration on that.
I love soft-shell crab.
I do too.
So soft-shell crawfish, sure. No, I am of the mind of crawfish is highly overrated. But that's just me. I mean, there's just so little meat. There's just so little meat.
In a crawfish? Mm-hmm. I made the boo-boo of. I had always been told that the head was the best part. That's the only thing I ate.
Yeah. Did you do that before you ate the tail?
Yes.
And so you were ruined on crawfish forever.
Yeah, and I didn't eat the tail.
That's mean. Yeah. That's just absolutely mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, lobster has to have butter. Lobster is great to have. It's more of a badge of honor thing than anything. You could say, I'm having lobster tonight. But in the end, it is just a vehicle for the melted butter.
Oh, Kelvin Joyner said lobsters are overrated. I cannot agree with that. Good lobster. Not frozen. Look, we live 5 hours away from an ocean, so I don't eat a lot of seafood. But by God, when I smell that salt air, you don't have to guess where my fat ass is.
Lobster in a restaurant that's not near a place where lobster comes from, I agree with you. 180,000% overrated. However, if you've ever been to the coast of, I don't know, Maine, and gone to an actual shop where they pulled the shit right off the boat and you bought a big-ass fucking lobster, took it home, and put it in a pot yourself, not overrated. Done it, seen me do it, loved it.
Okay, I have to tell you a story. And then we'll get back to, sports things.
I don't know. I get harder over this than I do fantasy football.
It's because you're better at that than you are at fantasy
10 points
football.
for Tank.
10 points for Jeremy because I was right. The last time that I went to a seafood restaurant with live lobsters, they had the big tank of lobsters, and you got to pick the lobster that you want. So I got a surf and turf, and I have this app on my phone where I can take 2 pictures and put them on a still at the same time. So I have a little stand on my phone, and I took a picture of a cow, and I took a picture of a lobster, and I put it on my phone, and I set the stand up right there. And when they brought me my food, I stared at that as I ate it, because I knew invariably our waitress was she was not a rocket surgeon, and I knew she would ask why I was doing that. About the 3rd time she came to the table, she said, why do you have the picture of the cow and the lobster on your... well, because we're friends now. Because they're still alive, and now they're going to be a part of me. So I've named them. I've given them a whole backstory. One of them, left home looking for something new. The other one was out with Nemo and got caught in a trap.
Yep.
And now they're dinner.
Yep. Awesome. Kevin Vick says if he catches enough grouper down in Florida, he'll bring some back. We'll do a fish fry. Sportsocracy fish fry. I'm all in.
I like anything that starts with protein fry.
And I'll make some of them Cheddar Bay biscuits like they have at Lobster,
Red Lobster?
at the Red Lobster.
It's the only thing. That's the only thing worth eating at a Red Lobster.
Agreed.
Red Lobster just pisses me off because it tastes fine, but it's not like super fresh seafood, and that's what I want.
Maryland crabs are the best. I've heard that's what Maryland does.
Crab cakes.
Crab cakes and football.
Tremendous.
Crab cakes and football. That's a movie reference. Do you get that one? Wedding Crashers? I think that was the one.
I didn't hear what you said, to be really honest. I was reading comments. I'm trying to figure out.
Crab cakes and football. That's what Maryland does.
Oh.
No.
+2 Jonathan Welch, by the way.
What'd he say?
Dungeness crab is far superior to lobster. I can't disagree with that. Dungeness crab is delicious.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so
this food rabbit hole has been brought to you by the Atlantic Ocean, which is currently getting refilled by Hurricane Fuck It All.
Oh.
I don't know what is happening outside, but it sounds like bayonet hell.
Bayonet hell?
Mm-hmm. It sounds bad. I don't like it. So if you hear weird raindrops, we're in a metal tube right now, so we can only mitigate it so much, and it's raining like hell outside.
Yeah, and Hurricane Fred is coming over top of us here in the mountains of western North Carolina.
I refuse to call it Hurricane Fred.
Okay.
It's stupid that we name hurricanes. It's stupid as hell that we name hurricanes. If you're gonna name them something, name them accurate shit. So this is from henceforth shall be known as Hurricane Fuck It All. Because that's what it's about to do.
It's just fuck it all.
Just fuck it all.
Just fuck it all. Excellent. We're talking about the highest risk fantasy plays of 2021. Here in the 30 days of Draftmas. What are we down to? Was this the 7th day of Draftmas?
On the 7th day of Draftmas, my true love brought to me.
Sounds good. It's probably not right, but who cares?
Who gives a shit? Points are made up. Rules are made up and points don't matter.
That's right. So we've talked about Joe Burrow. We've talked about Jalen Hurts. Any other quarterbacks on your big risk?
I don't love where people are taking Trevor Lawrence right now. Michael White, the +2 from Michael Whiteside. He said, until they name one Jeremy and I'll be all in. You're probably right. The quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, is the one that scares me.
Okay.
Because he's going in that high group, and I don't understand.
No, he's on a very, very bad team. He's going to make a lot of mistakes this year. Just looking at like injury, big risk injury guys, Big Ben has to be on your list. Cam Newton as well. I wouldn't suggest anybody draft Cam Newton though, because he ain't gonna fucking play.
No.
I think that's been settled in a lot of our minds. There are some other people, namely Bill Belichick, I guess, that hasn't made up his mind yet on what he's going to do with the quarterback position for the New England Patriots this year. But those guys are just guys that I would mention. I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. Running back position. I got another Philadelphia Eagle here. It's Miles Sanders. I like Miles Sanders a lot. I'm a believer in Miles Sanders, but that also gives me concern because I'm wrong a lot about guys when I believe him. Jalen Hurts' running ability, if he hits his ceiling, how much does that affect Miles Sanders? I think it could have a pretty decent effect on him.
I disagree. It would be a touchdown dependent thing. That's the only thing that would scare me, is that maybe he has an effect on, close to the goal line touchdowns, because he is a little bit more of a bruiser than.
But also, do they get
Sanders.
inside 5 yards and Jalen Hurts takes it himself? That's one of the things that I think hurts the running backs for the Buffalo Bills, is that once you get inside the 6-yard line, who else would you rather have run that ball in? Would you rather have Zach Moss? Would you rather have Devin Singletary? Or who else is behind them? Or would you have Josh Allen, your big fucking linebacker of a quarterback, take it in? Now, obviously, he and Jalen Hurts are not anywhere near equal, physically speaking. But Jalen Hurts is also a guy who doesn't hang in the pocket a whole lot.
You want me to tell you a stat about Miles Sanders that will blow your damn mind? Been in the league 2 years. How many 100-yard games does he have?
No. 3?
Just 300-yard games in his career. And I love the kid. The talent's great. I just don't know. And he gets into that weird place, ADP wise. And I'm using Fantasy Pros. Currently, he's behind David Montgomery, who I like him better than. He's ahead of DeAndre Swift, who I like him better than. But then you get into like Kareem Hunt, James Robinson, Javonte Williams, Mike Davis. I like all of those guys better than him.
According to the Fantasy Football Calculator, he's currently going with a second pick in the 4th round on average.
I got him back into the 3rd and 34th.
Do you remember our conversation about Myles Gaskin yesterday? And I said, Myles Gaskin.
Myles Gaskin. If you missed yesterday, let me just stop with Myles Gaskin. If you see him appear, just click the little X so his name will go away so you're not tempted to do it.
Yeah. And I said, Myles Gaskin is the start of that little shit tier of running backs. Miles Sanders is the one directly above him. That's where he's fallen in at. Of that DeAndre Swift, Josh Jacobs, Daryl Henderson, Miles Sanders, Myles Gaskin. is the next guy coming off of boards. It is a risky play. I think there's risk to all of those guys. In fact, I think all of them need to be on this list. With DeAndre Swift, and you don't know what his workload's going to look like with Jamal Williams being involved. Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake now comes up, is added to this team. And they very well could be in a 1A, 1B type scenario. I believe that John Gruden believes more in Josh Jacobs than that, and he's going to continue to give him 230 carries or whatever it is that he's been averaging the last 2 years. And then you got Daryl Henderson. When Daryl Henderson plays, he is an effective fantasy football player.
I worry a little bit about workload with him because I've just never seen him have a workload to this level. So I would say Daryl Henderson's a little risky.
I agree.
And now what I will say is that his ADP has sunk like a fucking rock. And I don't think where he is now, it's that risky. I'm just looking at where he's at right now. He's going behind Chase Edmonds, Travis Etienne, and Melvin Gordon. Okay. Right ahead of Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, and Damian Harris. I don't agree with that one, but the other two I do. So that's the reason he's not on this list for me. I think if you're taking him in the beginning of the 7th round, which is currently where his ADP is.
The 7th round?
Got him at 71. Well, that's back into the 6th. Never mind.
Fantasy Football Calculator has Daryl Henderson at the first pick of the 4th round at 38 overall.
Yeah. I think I need to teach you how to sort that thing because it's obviously a little intoxicated.
PPR average draft position?
Yeah, he's 71 from Fantasy Pro. Anytime there's that, because I haven't seen Daryl Henderson go that. I mean, Jesus Christ, that has him going ahead of every running back we've talked about.
Yeah.
In this segment. Yeah, that's not happening in any draft with anybody with an IQ above salad dressing.
Yeah, 4th round, he is, it's Daryl Henderson, Miles Sanders, and then it goes Myles Gaskin, Mike Davis, Travis Etienne, Kareem Hunt, James Robinson.
Yeah,
those are the next guys.
In that dum-dum scenario, cool. Okay, now he's a risk. But
right.
I haven't seen him go that high anywhere. Hell, in the draft where somebody took Cam Akers and wanted to keep him away from the person that drafted him, he didn't go until back into the 5th, and that's in a 14-team league.
Right.
With smart people. Real smart people.
Well, I think that's that's part of the calculation here as well. Part of these averages are, standard Yahoo, auto draft leagues and shit like that get factored in. You probably can get him in a smarter league because everybody understands the risk. 6 games last season, Daryl Henderson had 12 or more touches and averaged 14 points a game. That's fine. Not for first pick in the 4th round. For me, anyway.
That's too high for me.
Right. Which 14 points a game would have put him as 17th best running back in fantasy football for an entire season. Not bad. Just depends on where you can get him. Now, you mentioned Matt Stafford concerns you because everybody believes that Sean McVay runs this, just wide open, run and gun kind of a system. Since Sean McVay became the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams, they have the 8th heaviest run offense in the league.
It's one of those fantasy football myths that for some reason people won't stop perpetrating.
And they run the ball the 3rd most of any other team when they're inside the red zone since Sean McVay took over. When he gets close, especially, he's going to try to get his backs into the end zone. Mitigate disaster when you're so damn close. It's a smart strategy to take. But that's where the positive can come in for Daryl Henderson. I actually think in talking about his risk, I've started to convince myself of he actually might be worth a risk. Again, not in the 4th round, but in some of these leagues where you've said you've seen him go in the 7th round, 6th round, I may be in for that.
I'm in. I like him where I've got the ADP at for him.
I want to talk about a guy in the 1st round. A guy that I have seen go over and over and over again in the first round.
Hey, let me guess. Does he play in the NFC East?
He does not play in the NFC
You're
East.
doing it wrong, because that's the only one that scares me.
We're gonna get to him.
There's two of them. They ain't just one. There's two.
In the first round? Mine plays in the AFC, and he plays for a little team out of Indiana. It's Jonathan Taylor. My concern about Jonathan Taylor, I just discovered this, that we knock on David Montgomery all the time. We've knocked on David Montgomery constantly since the end of last season of don't get duped by what David Montgomery did at the end of the year, because he played shitty teams and he racked up a lot of points. Jonathan Taylor's not different. There were points last year where you were wondering, is it even worth keeping Jonathan Taylor around? Because he was scoring like 7-8 points a game. And then the last 5 weeks of the season, he scored 55% of his fantasy points for the year. He scored 120 points in 5 weeks. He played the Houston Texans twice, who were the worst team against the run in the league last year. He played the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 17, where he scored 37 points. They were 30th in the league. He also had a decent game in there, 2-touchdown game against the Las Vegas Raiders, who were 24th in the league against the run. The one outlier in that 5-week stretch was against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we know what happened to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the end of the season.
All right, so what is your fear of Jonathan Taylor?
Consistency. My fear is consistency, and I don't know how this is going to shape out with the I believe in the offensive line. I'm not saying don't draft Jonathan Taylor. I'm just saying if you're going to take him at 8 in the first round, these are things you might want to consider. That he wasn't the steady force that you might think he was all year last year. There are a lot of weeks where you would have been dumb to have played him. But he did come on at the end of the year. It's promising to see a rookie develop at the end of a year. I get all of those things. Just be aware that when he plays shitty teams, sure, he's going to do really well. I just don't know how he's going to do in this system. Carson Wentz, what he's going to look like, if he's going to be around, if this team's going to get, beat up by injuries. Is Eric Fisher really a good, still a really good player to fill in the Anthony Costanzo role? Just some warning signs.
I disagree with you so fucking vehemently that I can't say it forcefully enough. Because here's what you're missing.
Okay.
He wasn't getting the workload. He's going to get the workload. Because they saw what he is. He's without a doubt the best running back on this team. And I'll be honest with you, Jordan Wilkins is the second best running back on this team. That's a guy that I've never seen get workload. I would love for him to be traded to anybody else. Because I think he's a starting level running back in the NFL. Jonathan Taylor had more than 18 carries 4 times last year. You care to hear how many yards he had in those games?
Yeah.
101, 90, 150, and 253. Yeah, I think Frank Reich saw that, because guess what? 3 of those games were in the last 5 of the season. 6 of the season.
Against really bad run defenses. Except for the Pittsburgh game.
No, I don't think Green Bay's that bad. Yeah, Jacksonville sucks. They'll give you that. Raiders were not great.
Good. Right.
Yeah, I just think you're out to lunch on that. I really do. The Jonathan Taylor thing, you were right. You changed your mind, and now you're wrong. Jonathan Taylor is a guy that I feel very sure will finish in the top 10, barring injury. Almost no way that doesn't happen. And you're taking him at the back end of the top 10. All the way in. I feel better about him than I do Ezekiel Elliott. I feel better about him than I do Saquon Barkley. I feel better about him than I do... You know what I'm going to say? I feel better about him than I do Derrick Henry. And it ain't all that close to me. If you told me I could take Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor at 5, I'll take Taylor all day. All day. And I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't even blink.
Okay. I think you're wrong on that, but he's going to be... He probably will have a top 10 season. I don't think you're wrong about that. I'm just saying temper your expectations.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Jonathan Welch +3 on a really good point here.
Yeah.
The Colts play the same 3 teams twice a year.
Yes.
All 3 of them are not good run defenses. So, yeah.
Guaranteed 6 great games. Okay, let's talk about Saquon. Because I know he's the one you were talking about. Saquon is the
hold on. Before you, Jason Trump said Taylor or Kelsey. Fuck, just make me choose between my children, why don't you? Kelsey, but it's damn close. Like, it's real damn close. Taylor's is my backup to if somebody snipes me on Kelsey at the back end of the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to have to make the decision because I haven't had both of them on board yet. Ooh. That's one of those, I haven't seen it yet, but now that I've said it, I'm going to see it a bunch of times, and I'll bet you I split that baby right down the fucking middle.
I would say
to
Kelsey.
diversify my assets as much as I possibly can.
I would say Kelsey is the choice there.
It's Kelsey for me, but I can tell you right now, there will come a time, and I don't know what the combination of beers and time and all that shit are, but there will come a time where I go, fuck it, Jonathan Taylor. I see it in my future.
Mm-hmm. All right. Who else? Saquon.
Stephen Tow's right. I did say always Kelsey. Never hedge.
Travis Kelce, no matter what.
+2, Stephen Tow.
Can't go back on your word. Saquon Barkley. Is it just the fact that the offensive line is dog shit?
No, it's the fact the line's dog shit. He's coming off a catastrophic knee injury that he's not healed from yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot to be terrified of Saquon Barkley. There's a reason he was the guy on the cover of today's video. Because he's the guy that scares me the most in fantasy football, and I cannot get a good read on where you're going to have to take him. Mm-hmm. Where does your...
Let's see. Fantasy Football Calculator has him currently at number 10.
I have him at 7. Feel better at 10, but I still don't feel great. Mm-hmm. I mean, just I would take Taylor over him. I would take Aaron Jones over him. I'll take Antonio Gibson over him. Mm-hmm. I do declare... I would take Mr. Gibson over Saquon Barkley.
Directly behind Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler at 11, Najee Harris at 14, Jonathan Taylor 15, Antonio Gibson 16. I'd be in for all of those guys over Saquon Barkley. The concern, I'm not as much worried about him being re-injured. What I'm worried about is his inefficiency. He is not an efficient running back and hasn't been since he got into the league. Now, he's had huge plays and he's had huge gains, massive highlight plays where he just looks like an absolute freak. We all have seen the training camp videos and the pictures of his ginormous quads. We get it. He's got a lot of talent in there, but he also is very plodding when he runs. And interesting stat, in his career, when he does not have a game where he has carried the ball for a 25-plus yard gain, his yardage average is 3.3 yards carry.
He's very electric. He's just very inconsistent.
Yeah, he's got to get loose. He's got to get loose, and if he doesn't get loose, he can have a horrendous game. First couple of games of last year, I keep saying it because I had him in several leagues last year. And he wasn't good before the injury. When the injury happened, you were like, oh, great. He was just starting to get going. No, he really wasn't. He had like 2 yards a carry.
By the way, Kelvin Joyner asked how many leagues. I'm just curious for my own, for posterity's sake. How many leagues are you in?
Currently?
Mm-hmm. My number's higher than his.
12, maybe?
And this ain't the only number of mine that's higher than his. +2 for me.
He ain't wrong.
I know I'm not.
I think I got 12 so far.
Last year I was in 17. I'll be in 22 this year.
Yeah.
I got roped into a bunch of analyst leagues this year, including the ESPN affiliate league that's got like 5,000 people in it. I think it's a 22-team league.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's difficult. Like Jordan Wilkins is a high-end back of the draft pick. It's a bitch. And I get just skull raped in that league every fucking year. Since I've been in every year we've been on ESPN. I don't think I finished in the top half of it yet. I just can't get my head around the scoring. It's a funky ass scoring system to try to. It rewards you for receivers and kind of punishes you for running backs, and I just can't get my brain to think of that.
No, my current number is 12, and I will probably be so. I usually end up somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 to 20 leagues.
Now hold on. Now let's ask. You
don't need to go there because you know the answer to this question.
How many of those involve money being exchanged? Okay,
3.
Yeah, you want to know what my number is?
All of them. All of them, because he refuses to play for free.
Oh, I mean, I'll join a free league just so you have a name on a team, but I will never look at it again.
I am a cheap bastard, and I play for fun.
Fuck fun. Fun don't pay the bills, Tonto. All the way in.
Other running back risky plays for 2021.
There are just a slew of them for me. A lot of them we've talked about. Myles Gaskin, obviously. I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to keep saying it, and I just want it on record that I said it. Derrick Henry scares the fuck out of me.
Just because he hasn't had the catastrophic injury?
Just because he's getting to that point that I have told you about for years, the 1,500 touch line. How many touches does Derrick Henry have in his career?
Wait, I thought it was 2,000 touches.
2,000 is where you fall off the cliff. 1,500 is where you start to decline.
Oh, okay.
How many touches does Derrick Henry have in his career?
1,400.
1,300. I could see the back end of this year being where you start to go, oh, well, oh, wait. Just saying. I could be a year early.
Right around fantasy playoff time. That's your concern.
That's what worries me. And my wife is just, she loves her some Derrick Henry, and I have to just keep saying, it's not that I don't like him. First of all, he has 10 thumbs, which bothers me. I don't like running backs can't catch. The other problem that I have with Derrick Henry is the touches. I mean, the workload on him is astronomically high. And Father Time's undefeated. Everybody say, oh, he's built like a Terminator. Yeah, so the hell was Adrian Peterson. And then what happened? That dude hadn't been healthy since fucking Obama was president.
Yep.
Like, I mean, it's been 5 solid years since he was healthy.
The one thing I like Derrick Henry, I think that, I don't like playing the injury prognostication game. Did I say that right? Prognostication?
You got it.
I don't think that's right. It doesn't sound right in my head. Anyway, but when it happens, it's going to be bad.
A precipitous decline.
Right.
And I'm worried this year. I'm worried that the new offense, you're seeing more. Look, they might mitigate it with Darrington Evans. I just don't buy it. I don't. They ran him into the fucking ground in their first preseason game. That doesn't strike me as a guy that they really plan on being the spellback to Derrick Henry.
Right.
And I can't remember. There was a Titans fan that he doesn't watch live, and I can't think of his name. Ryan Tannehill has a lot more involvement in that offense than people think.
He's run the ball over 300 times each of the last 2 years. Last year, he almost hit 400 carries. 378 carries is a lot. This is the thing that I kept saying about Christian McCaffrey. Remember the offseason last year with Christian McCaffrey? We kept talking about, hey, you do realize that this guy plays 99% of all the snaps for Carolina. He's going to break at some point. When he was up for the big contract, we kept saying, don't do this. Don't give him that big contract because he's going to break eventually if you keep running him that way. And I think there is something to that.
I agree.
Yeah. That Derrick Henry is kind of in that same spot. But he's not. I don't consider him to be super high risk. I will still take him if I have the number 3 pick in the draft. I will still be taking Derrick Henry at number 3.
Yeah, I'm good. I won't. I'll take Alvin Kamara at 3, and I'll do it with a damn smile on my face.
See, to me, that's a risk.
I'll do it with a smile on my face and a chubber under the table.
With the questions at quarterback for New Orleans, I almost consider Alvin Kamara to be risky, especially if you're going to take him that high.
I do not.
Any other running backs?
No. And I think we're going to have to do receivers and tight ends tomorrow because we ran an hour 15 on quarterbacks, running backs, and seafood.
Excellent.
And Tim Tebow.
So tomorrow we'll talk about wide receivers, tight ends, and TV shows. How about that?
Okay. It's just a little. This is a little bit of Sportsocracy homework. First of all, get your entries in for the charity St. Nicholas Project. If you want in, you can 100% message me before we set up the things. That might actually help just to kind of get these things set up. Because what we're going to do is take those of you that do the morning show and try to fill you into leagues with people that watch the people listen to the afternoon show. Because you get to hear us be completely open and honest on this show. I can't say fuck on the afternoon show. Mm-hmm. So, I don't always explain things to the optimum of my ability. I don't remember. Oh, I was about to be like, where the hell was I headed with that? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how Tank is completely just drunk and out to lunch on the best sitcoms of all time.
Sorry.
We're going to sprinkle in some entertainment shit with Fitball.
That's right. And I'm going to come representing. Just so you know. Anyhow, this afternoon on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We get you up to date on all the latest things going on in the sports world, including some of the some things going down in the NBA. Joel Embiid just signed a big Supermax contract. The Memphis Grizzlies have been very active on the trade market, and they just made another trade. Trading Patrick Beverley to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Jarrett Culver and Juancho Hernan Gomez.
Yeah, they get the better side of that.
Yeah.
Because Pat Beverley sucks. Just to recap our top 4 going into Wednesday of the comment scoreboard.
Comment scoreboard.
Jason Trump is in the top 4. So is Jonathan Welch, Kevin Vick, and Michael Whiteside. But many of you are still close enough that by the end of the week, you could be 100% in there. Everybody got +2 for liking the video that got on the board today. Anybody that got on the board today, you got +2 for liking the video because there's just a shitload of likes. So if you hadn't done that yet, go ahead and do that.
-4 for Stephen Tao. He says The Office is overrated.
We're gonna talk about that tomorrow.
-3 for you.
He ain't getting. No. I'm the keeper of the scorebook, so -706 for you. Eat a dick.
We'll talk about it all tomorrow morning. Again, wide receivers, tight ends, best sitcoms of all time. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. As always, we are live in the Wicked Weed studio. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Go today, and you can even order online now. You can get all the gear, everything that you need at wickedweed.com. And it's, as always, Wicked Weed Brewing. Drink different. We'll see you this afternoon.